Hey everyone. So here's the deal. I want to talk a little bit about putting into training time, how to be successful in your training and teaching your dogs, right? So I've kind of separated it into these two sort of categories, if you will. One of them is what I'll oftentimes say to many pet parents, and I've heard another trainer say it. I can't remember specifically which one. Maybe there have been many that have been saying it, but I do know that this is a great way to look at it. Is this opportunistic training sessions, right? These opportunistic training time and practical use for the training you've been learning from pet professionals that you've been learning and researching on your own, and you gather all this information, and a lot of it is practical, like I said, opportunistic. There's an opportunity that comes up. Your dog's jumped on you. Okay, now it's my time, right? My dog did the thing I don't want them to do. Now is our time to jump in and teach our dog a lesson and help them to stop doing this or to redirect them to do something else. This is my time to put it into practice, right? So it's more of the opportunistic and practical time of training. What sometimes we fail to realize is that we may see there's an opportunistic time to, okay, now I'm going to teach my dog off, right? I've been putting it off and I haven't had the time to teach it, but I know a trainer's been teaching me how to teach my dog off. Um, so here, now I'm going to start to use it. And our dog says, I have no idea what you're doing. I've never seen you do this before. What is this, right? So we say off to our dog. Our dog doesn't do anything. They keep jumping. Or maybe they do get down and then they stare at you like, what does that mean? Does that mean we're going on a walk? Does that mean you're going to give me a treat? Are you going to pet me? Or maybe because of past history, maybe it means you're going to shove me or push me because something that we've done before to kind of get them off of things and put our hands on them to move them away. So they may be expecting that. So they get down on the ground or like I said, they stop and they look at you. So, oh, it worked, right? I said off and they stopped. Problem is you do it again and they keep doing it again and again, right? So then they're jumping up and you say off, and then this time maybe they don't get down off the ground, right? You say off and they're just still keep doing it because they're like, I don't really know what this means. And this is why we need training time, right? We need set aside designated time to train our dogs to teach them, let's say off, to teach them that word. What does that word really mean? What happens when that word is, the behavior is paired with what that word is? So there is a consequence to, I said the word and they did the behavior that I'm looking for, and they get rewarded. So not only is there consequence, but there's also now knowledge from our dogs, right? Our dogs now have a power as well that I know what you're trying to get me to do. I know what to do now. And then we can reward that. And then eventually this becomes into a learned behavior where our dog jumps on something, we say off, they get off of that item or that object or that person or whatever it is, right? They get off. And now we've felt successful that we've told them what we want them to do. They've done what we wanted them to do, and now we can reward them accordingly. And that can change as time goes on, right? But now there's not a sense of, what do you want me to do? I don't really know what's happening. So now that we have an understanding of the difference of this opportunistic type of style and practical training versus a training session set aside for learning and knowledge from our dogs, and knowledge for us to know our dogs do know actually what to do, and we can be successful on how to reinforce it properly for it to be successful, right? If I'm reinforcing with pets and scratches and my dog still is not quite doing it, repeating the process over and over again properly and correctly, then maybe my reinforcement needs to change, right? So we're gathering knowledge as well as our dog is learning what is expected of them when we say a particular word, perhaps, as in this scenario we just described as an example. So we have opportunistic training, and then we have setting aside training time, right? And setting aside training time does not have to be tedious and difficult. It really doesn't. But we do have to be realistic, right? I want my dog to learn set skills and set behaviors so that I can find my life to be a little bit more communication, a little bit easier with my dog when I don't like what they're doing. I don't have to just accept that they're doing this thing and I don't know how to tell them to stop without using force or maybe yelling at our dog, right? Using intimidation because it seems like that's the only way sometimes it works, right? If I intimidate my dog, then it stops. But is there any is that effectively stopping the behavior, or it stops it in that moment, but then it reoccurs over and over and over again? So, why we go there is now in this path of learning, setting aside training time, right? Learning a skill or learning behavior. And that only needs to be a couple times a week. Being realistic, what days in my week can I set aside 15, 20 minutes? And that's 15, not 15, 20 minutes of train time. That's 15, 20 minutes of I need to get my treats together. Where's my treat pouch? Do I just want to use a cup of treats? Where's my clicker? Is my water bowl filled up so that my dog can have water? Maybe I want my water bottle in case I'm getting flustered, or it helps me calm down and regulate my body too if I'm starting to get frustrated with what's happening and expectations aren't being met in that moment. What am I going to do if my dog is totally distracted? Am I just going to walk away? Are there other treats? Maybe I need to have a couple different types of treats available. So it's setting aside, like I said, 15, 20 minutes, not just for the training exercise time, but also to prepare mentally. This is the supplies that I need. And then printing out your training worksheet, print out what I'm going to work on. Maybe it's a handwritten, what I'm going to work on today. These are 2 or 3 exercises I'm going to work on, or maybe just one exercise that we're going to work on with a few breaks in between, depending on the type of exercise. But putting in a break, doing some play with tug, or maybe do some rolling the ball around on the ground, and then coming back to training again, that could still all be a part of this 20-minute training session, right? So maybe I do 4 or 5 down stays for 5 seconds, right? So I do like, let's say 2. I do 2 down stays for 5 seconds. That's 10 seconds right there, right? And then reinforcing, then releasing, and then play ball or play with a tug toy. And then we come back and do some more down stays of 2 or 3 sets of that, right? Building it up. That is all still within that 15, 20-minute session. And then in the session, uh, providing your dog a chew bone, something that's really reinforcing for them. Maybe even give yourself a little treat. Maybe go grab a special drink or get a little piece of chocolate, or grab a piece of fruit, something that then also re-energizes you as well, so that you feel like, hey, that was good. Maybe I didn't get the complete results I wanted yet, but I feel good about doing that session, setting that time aside just for me and my dog to help gain some understanding and learning and knowledge together. Awesome, guys. Keep up the great work. And as always, reach out if you have any questions or comments or need any assistance. All right. Thanks. Bye.